Imagine a single night, a night so powerful that worship performed during those few hours is better than worship performed for more than 83 years. For Muslims around the world, that night is known as Laylatul Qadr, often translated into English as the night of power or the night of decree. It is one of the most sacred and spiritually significant nights in Islam. Every year during the month of Ramadan, millions of Muslims search for this extraordinary night with hope, devotion, and deep reflection. But what exactly happens on this night? Why is it so important? And what do Muslims actually do during Laylatul Qadr? To understand the answers, we must first go back more than 14 centuries ago. Laylatul Qadr is closely connected to the revelation of the Quran. According to Islamic belief, this was the night when the first verses of the Quran were revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. The revelation came through the angel Jibril, known in English as Gabriel. At that time, Prophet Muhammad was meditating and reflecting in a cave outside the city of Mecca. Suddenly, the angel appeared and commanded him to read. This moment marked the beginning of the Quran's revelation, a message that Muslims believe is divine guidance for all humanity. Because of this event, Laylatul Qadr became one of the most meaningful nights in Islamic history. In fact, the Quran itself describes the greatness of this night in Surah Al-Qadr, which states that the night of decree is better than 1,000 months. That means worship during this single night carries more spiritual value than worship performed continuously for more than 8 decades. For believers, this promise creates a powerful motivation. It means that one night of sincere devotion can transform a lifetime. Interestingly, the exact date of Laylatul Qadr is unknown. Islamic teachings explain that the night occurs during the last 10 nights of Ramadan, most likely on one of the odd-numbered nights. These include the nights of the 21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th, and 29th of Ramadan. The wisdom behind hiding the exact date is deeply meaningful. Instead of focusing on a single night, Muslims are encouraged to dedicate themselves to worship throughout the final 10 nights of Ramadan. This encourages consistency, sincerity, and greater devotion. Around the world, during these final nights, mosques remain open late into the night. Homes become places of quiet prayer. Families gather to read the Quran, and hearts become focused on seeking forgiveness and mercy from God. But what exactly do Muslims do on this sacred night? Let's explore the most important acts of worship performed during Laylatul Qadr. One of the most important acts of worship during Laylatul Qadr is night prayer. In Islam, praying late at night is known as Qiyam al-Layl, or standing in prayer during the night. During Ramadan, Muslims already perform special nightly prayers called Tarawih. These prayers may include Tarawih prayers in congregation at the mosque, and finally the Witr prayer, which concludes the night's worship. For many Muslims, these hours of prayer become deeply emotional. The quiet of the night creates a powerful spiritual atmosphere. People reflect on their lives, their mistakes, their hopes, and their relationship with God. Some cry during prayer. Some whisper personal supplications. Others simply stand silently, feeling a profound sense of peace. In Islamic tradition, the Prophet Muhammad taught that whoever spends Laylatul Qadr in sincere prayer, with faith and hope for reward, will have their previous sins forgiven. For believers, this promise makes the night incredibly meaningful. Another central act of worship during Laylatul Qadr is reading the Quran. Since this night marks the beginning of the Quran's revelation, Muslims often spend long hours reciting its verses. Some people read quietly at home. Others gather in mosques where the Quran is recited aloud in a beautiful and rhythmic style. For many Muslims, these moments are deeply spiritual. The Quran is not only read, but also reflected upon. People think about the meanings of its verses, the lessons it teaches, and how its guidance applies to their lives. During Laylatul Qadr, the connection between believers and the Quran feels especially powerful. It becomes more than a book. It becomes a reminder of divine guidance, mercy, and purpose. Perhaps one of the most heartfelt acts of worship during Laylatul Qadr is making personal prayers, known in Arabic as dua. These are moments when individuals speak directly to God. They ask for forgiveness, they pray for guidance, they ask for blessings for themselves, their families, and the world. In Islamic tradition, the Prophet Muhammad taught a special supplication specifically recommended for Laylatul Qadr. He taught it to his wife, Aisha bint Abu Bakr. It was narrated from Aisha, may God be pleased with her, who said, "I asked, O Messenger of God, if I know which night is the night of decree, what should I say during it?" The Messenger of God replied, "Allahumma innaka afuwan tuhibbul afwa fa'afu anni," means, "O Allah, you are most forgiving, and you love forgiveness, so forgive me." Narrated by Tirmidhi number 3513 and Ibn Majah number 3850. Abu Isa at-Tirmidhi said that this hadith is Hasan Sahih. Al-Hafidh Abu Tahir said that this hadith is Sahih. This hadith was brought by Imam Tirmidhi in the chapter, The Virtue of Asking Forgiveness and Forgiveness from Allah. The above hadith was also mentioned by Ibn Hajar in Bulughul Maram in hadith number 706. This short prayer captures the essence of the night. Laylatul Qadr is not only about rituals, it is about humility, repentance, and seeking a fresh start. For many believers, these personal moments of prayer become the most powerful part of the night. Another important practice during Laylatul Qadr is Dhikr, which means remembering God. Dhikr can be done quietly or aloud. It often involves repeating short phrases of praise and gratitude such as, "Glory be to God," "All praise is due to God," "God is the greatest," "There is no God but God." These simple phrases carry deep meaning in Islamic spirituality. They help believers keep their hearts focused on God. During the calm hours of Laylatul Qadr, repeating these words can create a sense of peace and mindfulness. For many Muslims, Dhikr becomes a way to stay spiritually present throughout the night. During the final 10 nights of Ramadan, some Muslims perform a special practice called i'tikaf. This is a spiritual retreat in the mosque. People who perform i'tikaf dedicate themselves entirely to worship for several days. They remain in the mosque, limiting worldly distractions and focusing only on prayer, reflection, and reading the Quran. The Prophet Muhammad himself practiced i'tikaf during the last 10 nights of Ramadan in search of Laylatul Qadr. Today, this tradition continues in mosques around the world. People bring simple bedding, copies of the Quran, and basic necessities. For those participating, the mosque becomes a temporary sanctuary for spiritual renewal. Over the centuries, Islamic scholars have described several signs that may indicate Laylatul Qadr. These signs are based on sayings of the Prophet Muhammad. One commonly mentioned sign is that the night feels unusually calm and peaceful. The air may feel neither hot nor cold. The atmosphere feels serene and spiritually uplifting. Another well-known sign appears the following morning. According to Islamic tradition, the sun rises without strong rays. Its light appears soft and gentle. However, scholars emphasize an important point. These signs are not meant to be used as a way to identify the exact night with certainty. Instead, they serve as reflections that may be noticed afterward. The true focus remains on sincere worship throughout the final nights of Ramadan. At its core, Laylatul Qadr is about mercy. Islam teaches that God's mercy is vast, and this night is one of the greatest opportunities to seek it. People reflect on their past mistakes, they ask for forgiveness, they make intentions to become better individuals. For many Muslims, Laylatul Qadr becomes a turning point in their spiritual journey. It is a moment to reconnect with faith, to strengthen character, to renew hope, and to remember that no matter how difficult life may become, there is always a path back to God. One of the most beautiful aspects of Laylatul Qadr is its global unity. At the same time, across different time zones, millions of Muslims are engaged in worship. In cities across the Middle East, Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Americas, mosques remain open late into the night. Some people pray quietly at home, others sit with their families reading the Quran. Some donate charity to help those in need. Even though cultures differ, the purpose remains the same: seeking God's mercy, seeking forgiveness, and seeking the blessings of Laylatul Qadr. Even for those outside the Muslim faith, Laylatul Qadr carries a universal message. It reminds us of the power of reflection, the importance of forgiveness, and the value of dedicating time to spiritual growth. In a world often filled with noise, speed, and distraction, Laylatul Qadr invites people to pause, to reflect, to pray, and to reconnect with what truly matters. For Muslims, this night represents hope. Hope that prayers will be answered, hope that mistakes can be forgiven, and hope that every year offers a chance to begin again. Because the exact night remains unknown, the search for Laylatul Qadr continues every year, and perhaps that is part of its wisdom. The mystery encourages believers to remain sincere and devoted throughout the final nights of Ramadan. In the quiet darkness before dawn, millions of hearts turn toward God. Some whisper prayers, some shed tears, some simply sit in silence, reflecting on life and faith. And somewhere within those sacred nights, Laylatul Qadr may arrive. A night better than 1,000 months. A night of mercy, a night of forgiveness, a night of power. If you found this explanation meaningful, consider sharing it so more people around the world can learn about the spiritual significance of Laylatul Qadr. And if you'd like to explore more about Islamic traditions, history, and spirituality, stay with us for future videos. Peace be upon you.